The video you are about to see is for entertainment purposes only. If you would like to learn self-defense or any martial art, please seek the instruction of a certified instructor. Ever since the invention of home video cameras, the nunchucks or nunchaku have been associated with people being silly and hurting themselves. In today's video, I hope to introduce you to the nunchucks in a way that keeps this from happening. Before you can use nunchucks, you have to buy them. There are several styles of nunchaku that vary in size, weight, durability, and material. The two biggest factors in choosing nunchucks is foam or not foam, and rope or chain connector. Foam is great for beginners who are worried about hurting themselves, but I find that most foam nunchucks are so light that it makes them more difficult to control. There is a great heavier pair of foam nunchucks that are sold from Century that I would highly recommend for beginners. I'll link in the description. The argument of rope versus chain has been around for a very long time, and I don't see it being resolved anytime soon. I have had several pairs of both rope and chain nunchaku, and they both work just fine. I've heard several people complain that the chain nunchucks will kink up while they're using them, but I have never had this problem. When I was in high school and still living with my folks, my dogs would chew up all of my rope nunchucks and ruin them, so I ended up using mostly chain chucks. I grew accustomed to it, and now this is the type that I prefer. So now you have a pair of chucks. Well, before we start swinging them around, we need to learn how to hold them correctly. A lot of people's first instinct is to grab them from the end. This makes them very difficult to control and will lead to injury. Your grip on the nunchuck should be a thumb's length away from the top. The first drill is as shown. You flip the nunchuck hand over hand in front of you, catching it in your open hand. This drill will teach you how much momentum the nunchucks need to stay in motion. If you hesitate or don't provide the appropriate amount of momentum, there will be slack in your rope or chain and you will lose control. Slack is a nunchuck's worst enemy. Spin the nunchuck on your outside using the motion of your wrist and not your arm. Once you get used to that, try it with your other arm. After you are comfortable with this, try alternating the swing inside and outside of your arm, creating a sideways 8 pattern. This is where having a pair of foam nunchucks might be advantageous because I hit my funny bone a lot when I first started trying to do this. Once you are comfortable with one arm, try it with the other. After all of that, try spinning the nunchuck at your discretion, alternating from in to out whenever you feel like it. Make sure that you're controlling the weapon and not vice versa. The third drill starts from a chambered position underneath the armpit. It is an explosive strike forwards, hitting the opponent and returning to the chamber under the arm. If this technique looks familiar, Bruce Lee used this strike a lot in his movies. This technique is easy to understand but difficult to execute, so if you don't get it immediately, don't fret, just keep trying. And be sure to do this using both arms. This technique starts with the nunchuck being positioned over the right shoulder. The left hand should be holding the bottom part of the nunchuck. Let go with the left hand and strike diagonally across the opponent's face, bringing your nunchuck to your left hip and then to your right. Then straight up and into the original chambered position, catching the bottom part of the nunchuck with your left hand. To keep you from striking yourself in the hip, touch your thumb to each hip, then your shoulder. This will make the nunchuck wrap around you instead of just hitting you in the hip and bouncing off. Just by using the last 3 drills, we can make some pretty impressive combinations already. Thank you for watching the basic nunchuck tutorial, and be on the lookout for my intermediate and advanced tutorials coming soon, where we will dive deeper into developing our nunchuck skills. See you next time.